Good morning, friends. We are all delighted to see that most of you have chosen to sit on the chairs instead of the floor. The front is good. Particularly because, for some entirely unknown reason, that monitor is not working. This is my first time doing sound. I have absolutely no idea why it's not working. It turns on, but it's not connecting. So, there you go for the whole order of service and your hymns. And if you really like the brightness of the television monitor, you are more than welcome to join Jane up on the podium. And there's lots of room in the choir loft. So if you'd like to do that, you can. Let's give a very warm welcome to Daryl Thiessen. Daryl works in the spiritual care department at the hospital, and he can blame Joe Ball for getting him here this morning. We're delighted to have you here to lead us in worship this morning, Daryl. Thank you.
So yeah, as she mentioned, my name is Daryl, and I have the privilege of being invited to lead our Sunday morning gathering this morning. I've lived in Brandon for almost 40 years, and I've always felt so very, very welcome at Knox. And I've been inspired by Knox. I'm gonna move this up just a touch. And I've had many amazing friends here. I have many amazing friends. And I'm a little intimidated because these people that I can call my friends and that I've known over the years, some have passed, and some of you that I've heard about, pretty amazing people. And so I'm like, what am I gonna say today that's gonna make any difference or be of any help? And I was thinking, you know, you're such good people, and I feel safe here, because that's what you do. You make people feel safe. So I'm gonna do my best, and bless your hearts. So here goes. Let's start with our first hymn. peace and spirit of Christ be with you. Thank you. Let's sing our second hymn, number 382, Breathe on Me, Breath of God.
Good morning. This is from Genesis 32, chapters 22 to 31. The same night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, 2 maids, and his 11 children and crossed the ford of the river. He took them and sent them across the stream, and likewise everything he had. Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. When the man saw he did not prevail against Jacob, he struck him on the hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with them. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then the man said, "You shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. You have striven with God and with humans and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he said, "Why is it that you ask my name?" And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, yet my life is preserved." The sun rose upon him as he passed Peniel, limping because of his hip.
I think that's just such an amazing, amazing story. Before I start my address this morning, I'm going to invite us to do some centering exercises with me, a guided meditation, if you will. So please feel free to close your eyes if you want, or focus on the beautiful stained glass, or something else, or just hang out. But we're just going to try and center. Let the cares of the week just set them aside for a while. So to start with, Let's take a deep breath in, hold it, and let it out. Invite the troubles and cares to go wait outside those big, beautiful, solid doors at the back of the sanctuary. Maybe those cares will get tired waiting and just go away. Or maybe they'll still be there when we're done. Take another deep breath in, hold it, and out. Feel the sacred, powerful, cleansing life force come up from Mother Earth, up into the soles of our feet, and then into our ankles and our calves and our knees and our thighs, bringing all our cares and burdens with it. Feel it wash away any unpleasant emotions and feelings. Wash it away. Now feel this life force continue up to your waist, into your abdomen and your chest, cleansing as it goes through your organs. Feel it flow through your arms, down to your wrists and into your fingers, and then back up to your arms and into your shoulders. Feel it goes up into your neck and into your throat and your jaw and past your ears and sinuses and into your forehead, and then it rests in your brain for a while. Feel the energy take the stress out of your brain and the rest of your body, and then release it up through your scalp and into the ceiling, and then up through the roof and into the sky and into the clouds. Take another big breath in and out. Please pray with me. Compassionate, creative, loving, and powerful God, we collectively ask that you be among us as we gather here today. Help us to help each other, to find strength and to find joy and to find meaning, and maybe even a little bit of clarity and inspiration. We are thankful for safety, and we're thankful for community, and we offer our sincere wish and intention that all the world could have the same. May we be encouraged, and may we find strength and love from each other this morning. Amen. When I was asked to speak here today, I was told I was free to speak on anything I wanted to. I thought that would be great. Freedom. But then, anxiety, being the dizziness of freedom, to quote Kierkegaard, set in. What on earth should I choose to speak about? So I went to the lectionary, and I got a doozy. What might it mean to be born again? Now, talk about a firecracker. These days, especially, born again is a loaded term. My wife's very afraid at this moment of what I'm going to say. Some will say to be born again means this, and others will say it means that. And I ask, might it mean many things? And might some of those things be manifestations of other things? So bear with me as I present in part what I think might it mean to be born again. In John chapter 3, Nicodemus comes to Jesus and says, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher from God, come from God, for no other person can do these miracles that you do except God be with them. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a person be born again, they cannot see the realm of God. What is the realm of God? I think it's a spiritual place, a magical place. And our story today tells us in part how to get there. Now, I waited until I was mostly done my sermon, until the anxiety got the best of me for this morning, but then I just couldn't stand it, so I do what the cool kids do nowadays, and I consulted AI. I didn't want to, I don't like AI, I'm not a fan, but I thought, I gotta try this, I gotta fit in. And I just asked AI, I said, make a sermon for me based on Genesis 22. And I can assure you, that what I say this morning comes from my heart. Because, like I said, I didn't check it until I was done. But you know, AI had a pretty cool summary of our Genesis text as well. Pretty cool, as Larry would say, but I think mine's better. So AI says about our text, unfortunately, this was AI. Unfortunately, Jacob's brokenness leads to his greatest blessing and a transformed identity, reminding us that true victory often begins with surrender. From a deceiver to an honest wrestler, he goes on to meet his brother, a changed man. Well, that could probably do it for this morning. If we went home and dwelt on that, we'd be fine. But I got the clock for another however many minutes, so there it is. And our story, so this is me now, not AI, no more AI. Our story has what I think is a happy ending. A startling metamorphosis occurs with Jacob, a rebirth, a genuine born-again experiences which allows him to live a better life. Now, my sermon is going to be long and it's going to be boring, but we're hopefully going to have some fun. And in the meantime, and I'm going to need you all to help me with that. I hope you will. Not the long, boring part, the fun part. So I hope you find it in your hearts to help me out. When I'm done, we'll take some time for sharing on what's on your hearts, for prayer requests, and also discuss anything that you might have thought about when I'm talking, and you thought, you know, Daryl, that doesn't make sense to me, or what did you mean by that, or maybe your own experience of something around that. So I'd love to maybe incorporate that into our sharing time. Joseph Campbell shows us that being born again or anew is a common psychological happening to heroes or seekers or those who want to be all that they can be. People who want to celebrate their uniqueness. Now, think about this. If we don't work at being our authentic selves, then the whole universe misses out on who we were meant to be. Because there is only one you and there is only one me. Just like there is only one of Pooh's friend Tigger. And Tiggers are wonderful things. Now, for the next part, when I point to you, I want you all to say, I'm the only one. If you feel comfortable, yell it as loud as you can, or speak it as softly as you want. Just say, I'm the only one. And believe me, this all ties into our text, so I'm not taking you down a path you don't want to go, I don't think. So I'm going to point to you, and you're going to say, I'm the only one. And this will be one of our responsive readings and songs for this morning. So let's practice. I'm going to point, and you're going to say, I'm the only one, okay?
I'm the only one.
Perfect. Because the wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber, their bottoms are made of springs. They bouncy, ouncy, pouncy, wouncy, fun. But the most wonderful things about Tiggers is...
I'm the only one.
Oh, so good. Tiggers are cuddly fellows. Tiggers are awfully sweet. And everyone else is jealous. And that's why I repeat, the wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are marvelous chaps. They're loaded with vim and vigor. They love to leap in your laps. They're jumpy, bumpy, clumpy, thumpy, fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is...
I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
Oh, you're such great Tiggers. I challenge you to get in touch with your inner Tigger, because you are the only one. That's what Jacob did, and it worked out really good for him. So there's a precedent. Now, nature has so many examples of things regenerating. The sun sets in the west, and it's born again each morning in the east. The tide comes in and is born again each day. And our hero Jacob is willing to risk letting other not so well-used parts of his personality have the spotlight in his effort to find his authentic self and to take control of, Jacob that is, wants to take control of who he wants to be. Richard Schwartz, in his book, There Are No Bad Parts, shows us that as we learn to manage all our different personality traits or parts, we become who we were meant to be, who we want to be. However, this rebirth is almost never without pain, without letting go, and that can cause intense suffering. But new things can come from switching up our go-to parts to less exercised ones. Think of the recent FIFA matches when the managers made substitutions, and yeah, I know I'm using a sports metaphor, but we can thank the parts of us that we have called and used on up until now in our life, and we can say to them, thank you, but take a rest. We're going to sub in some other parts. And this can be hard, lonely and strange, scary even, because we're used to what we're used to, and sometimes these parts, these way of doing things, they don't want to get subbed out. So they resist and they make it hard for us. But sometimes we start thinking, maybe there's more, a better way of processing this, and the transaction can be difficult, and it can leave us bruised and injured and limping even, as we seek to understand this new way of processing things, as we get back a sense of living after being born anew, being born again, to this new understanding, to our authentic selves as we seek to unlearn that which we've learned to protect ourselves when we were afraid and vulnerable. And those parts that we relied on for so long don't want to be subbed out, like I said, so they resist and they make it difficult for us. And that, I believe, is where this wrestling comes in that we speak of. Freedom comes with a price, with effort. It always has. Before we go any further, I want to define what I mean by God for the sake of this morning's talk. Who is God? What is God? How do I experience God? This morning, I invite us to dispense with theologizing or attempting to describe God in totality, which I think would be a fool's errand anyways, and instead simply say, God is that mysterious, creative, redemptive, rejuvenating, powerful force that works towards both good within us individually and collectively and gives meaning to our life. Let us also agree for this morning that God represents truth and meaning and reason for living. Full story. Dr. Paul Trudinger was, among many things, my professor at the University of Winnipeg's Faculty of Theology, and I took a graduate seminar course that he offered. We met at First Presbyterian Church here in Brandon, back when Winnipeg professors, if you can believe this, came to Brandon on a bus to be with 5 graduate students taking a seminar course. We didn't have to go to Winnipeg, and that was before video conferencing. These Winnipeg professors actually took a bus to Brandon and back, teach the course to a handful of us, and that was over 30 years ago. And he shared something with us that has never been forgotten by me, and has been most helpful to me and often to those whom I share it with. Dr. Trudinger wrote a book called Mirrors for Identity, and I remember him inviting us to use the Bible as a mirror and never a club. That has been very, very helpful to me over the years. And this morning, please accept everything that I share with you as me offering us a mirror. As we look into this mirror of the story of Jacob, it is my sincere prayer that we'll all find something that can comfort us, motivate us, encourage us, normalize things for us, and help us find clarity, purpose, and meaning. Do any of you remember, it's a, I guess, rhetorical question, but I'll say it anyways. Do any of you remember the movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Okay. The name, there's a song sung by the Soggy Bottom Boys by the name of I Am a Man of Constant Sorrows. That's my theme song. One of my work colleagues, and no, it wasn't you, Amy, said, "Are you ever happy unless you're unhappy, Daryl?" One of my therapists said to me, "You know, you plow pretty deep, Daryl. Maybe bring that plow up just a little from time to time." Yeah, that's part of who I am. I want to understand and experience the deepest emotions, complexities of life, and reasons for life. I want to understand why, and I like to be around people who want the same. People can say, I'm born again, and not feel arrogant about it. I think I wrestle with God. I invite you to do the same, if it's appealing to you. It's not for the faint of heart, but I would say it's one of the best and most rewarding things that I've ever done. And I continue to do it. It's rewarding, it's fulfilling for me, it gives me purpose. Now, some people find that uncomfortable, intolerable even, a downer. I know the first time the story of Jacob wrestling with God registered to me, with me, I thought, how dare he? Sacrilege! Wrestle with God? And then God blessed him? I am, however, learning to be more aware and to be more discreet about it, to try and share only at the right time and right place, and appreciate that not everybody wants to experience all this emotions and questions and yada, yada, yada. But I wrestle with it because I've been doing it for so long, and I still backslide and do it. I go deep too fast. That's the wrestling part for me. I want to put some of those parts aside, sub in new parts. Say, let's not always get so heavy and deep. Some people want to mostly enjoy life, and they have little interest or no interest in why or what is going on. And as I learn more about existential living, I'm becoming increasingly okay and appreciative of that perspective. And I try to cultivate relationships with people like this and not just judge them for being happy-go-lucky or indifferent. I'm also trying to lift up my plow a little and show and know when it's time to leave it alone and move on. A good respected friend who has had more than her share in her life said to me just this past week, it's good to be present and aware, but sometimes it's good just to live life and not think about things too much. And it's good to do it in the right way, at the right time, in the right place, just as Jacob did. But like Jacob, I continue to wrestle. Just last night, and you know who you are, I was out with some friends and we were having a good time, and then I realized I was steering the conversation pretty deep into a serious, unfun topic. And I went, I was embarrassed when I realized what I'd done. My hips started to ache. And it ached from the shame I felt by not managing that part, and I did not realize I was doing it until I'd done it. And for me, that's the wrestling part, the wanting to change, not who I am, but how I am. But at least I was able to be aware of it and stop. And I felt guilty about it, but more about that later. I'm fortunate, as our dear friend mentioned, to be able to work as a part-time spiritual care associate at Brandon General Hospital. And I find that when I'm paged to go to the hospital and spend some time with someone that's going through a trying or difficult time, it seems to be more helpful for my clients to sit with them in their sorrow and try to guide them through the sorrow while helping them embrace the heavy stuff of life than it would be to tell them not to worry about it, not to wrestle with it, to get over it, and that brighter days are just ahead. Grief gives us a tremendous opportunity to look in the mirror and find out who we are and maybe even who we want to be. And if we can find the strength, patience, and wisdom to become just that, I believe our biblical text this morning gives us some good insights into the meaningfulness of wrestling with God. It also reminds us that there is a time and a place, a way of doing this wrestling, that we may do well to set aside some time and some places to do it and not live in a continual place of wrestling. To let the sun come up and end on our striving and to appreciate things being unresolved, but to wrestle when needed. In our story from Genesis, as we hold up the mirror, let us notice a few things. Our story's context is one that we may all be able to relate to. Jacob's having family issues. Y'all say we don't need family issues. To add to that, Jacob has been known to be quite a slithery, shady guy, or maybe what some would call an unscrupulous business person. He got what he wanted by means that might not satisfy Kant's categorical imperatives, i.e., not letting what he selfishly wanted to be the end that justified the means, the unscrupulous means. So Jacob comes to a crisis with some baggage. And that may be one of the most important things we can do when we feel anxiety. We can look in the mirror and we can say, okay, what am I doing or not doing that's going to make this better or worse? What is it that I fear and or I have agitation about in my life? What is it that I don't want to look at or let go? Let's see what Jacob does. In verses 22 and 23, it says, that same night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 maids, and his 11 children and crossed the ford of the river. He took them and he sent them across the stream, and likewise everything that he had. Just before he goes to his family meeting, Jacob decides to try and make sense of all that is going on. We don't know why. Let's just say anxiety has got the best of him and he decides he's going to talk to God about trying to figure it out. And if we're going to get into it, it's probably good to prepare as best we can and send our family and our work commitments and our other distractions across the river and just be ourselves. It's better for us. It's a lot better for our family and the people we work with. Verse 24, Jacob was left alone, and an angel, a man, wrestled with him until daybreak. Later in the Bible, we learn that this man that Jacob wrestled with was actually an angel, a representative of God, representative of all that's good. So Jacob shows us that it's good to find a private place to do our wrestling. I do some executive coaching, and some of it's online, and I always tell my clients, you need to switch off your devices and be in a private space where we will not be interrupted. We start with centering exercises, like we did this morning, to clear the clutter in our minds. We can wrestle with God if we are present and not distracted and or multitasking. And it's good to set a time for it, to not let it take over our life, to allow the sun come up, and then reschedule to come back to it. It does not all need to be settled at once. Most situations have taken years to form, and often we want to get them resolved in a day or less. Verse 25, when the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he struck him on the hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Jacob normalized for us that it's okay not to accept things, but want to know why, to struggle and to say, what's going on here? Sometimes things get worse before they get better. I expect Jacob might have wished that he had just left well enough alone when his hip started hurting. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. It's also normal to be wounded in the process of looking into things. The truth can sting. And as we open up Pandora's box that is our lives, we may come face to face with things we would rather not. And our metaphorical hip starts to hurt, and it keeps hurting for a long time. Verse 26, then the angel said, let me go, for the day is breaking. But Jacob said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. So I'm thinking, I wonder if Freddie Mercury just plagiarized Jacob here. Can we do what Queen did? I think we can. Let's practice. I'll be the voice of the problem, the angel, the problem, wanting to just keep going. Just let me go. Don't deal with it. I want to go. And you all be the voice that says, I will not let you go. So we're just going to do a little interactive thing here now. So imagine me as your problem. Not literally, I know the problem is you want to get going, but the real problem is in your life and it's bothering you, and I'm that problem. I'm personifying that problem for you. A little role play, if you will. So I'm going to sing, let me go.
I will not let you go.
And you're going to sing,
I will not
going to say, let me go.
I will not let you go.
Let me go.
I will not let you go.
Yeah. So next time you're driving in your minivan, taking your grandkids to soccer, and you got something going on in your mind, and you're thinking, man, I should probably deal with that. Maybe just say, I will not let you go. And then not let it go. That's what Jacob did. We may not get things resolved, but I'm the guy that got the Knox congregation to sing part of Bohemian Rhapsody on a Sunday morning. And that suits my Tigger just fine. And I hope that it's memorable enough that if you feel like covering something over, that maybe you should just rather wrestle with sometime, that you can sing it out at the top of your lungs. I will not let you go. We may not get things resolved and may need to revisit things or keep at it, but it's okay to take a break for a while. Maybe we need to just feel like packing it in, but like Jacob, can we say, I will not let you go until you bless me, until I understand why this is happening to me? What can I change in my life? And resolve to revisit when we have the energy and we have left it for a lie for a time. Verse 27. So he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. This is a pivotal verse. It is here when Jacob acknowledges who he is. A manipulator, a deceiver. He becomes honest, no defenses. He wants to change his operating system, whatever it takes. He calls a timeout and he subs in a new part for his team, a new way of dealing with things. He wants to do better. He wants to wrestle until he finds his authentic self. He's tired of living a lie and he just wants to be an innocent child again who can enter the realm of God, a creative person in the image of God. Verse 26, then the angel said, you will no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with humans and have prevailed. I believe this is the angel saying, Jacob, you are born again. When we get to this place, we are at a place where we are transparent, humble, searching. We surrender our defenses and we find meaning and clarity, and we look in the mirror and we follow our bliss, our conscience. God changed Jacob's name from meaning heel biter, usurper, someone who gets ahead by pulling others down, to Israel, one who wrestles with God. And he blessed him for seeking to understand like a child. Jacob's defenses are subbed out, and his team is rejuvenated and born again, born anew. Verse 29, then Jacob asked him, please tell me your name. But he said, why is it that you ask my name? And then he blessed him. We may not know God's name in all of this or why it's happening to us. We want reasons why the outside world is causing this pain. What is your name? We ask our pain. But we do not know its name. We just know it's hard. And it's a wrestling match. But we keep on going because it's not about God. We don't need to know God's name or why. It's about us. And what we will do in this situation. Soren Kierkegaard's most famous quote on prayer is, the function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. This idea emphasizes that prayer, that wrestling with God, is meant for inner transformation and aligning oneself with the divine. And prayer is to look in the mirror. Another way of looking at things is that God appreciates interacting with us and does not see it as insubordination or blasphemy. God gave us a brain, so let's use it. Like Jacob, we'll be blessed if we undertake to understand. What could these blessings look like? A better understanding of others' perspectives, an appreciation for the things we discover, and can celebrate in a more enlightened life. We do things now because we believe it is the right thing to do, because we understand and we want to do them, and not just because we were taught it was the right thing to do. Much like the fruit in the Garden of Eden story, understanding and meaning and wrestling with God comes with a price, but it can make our human experience very meaningful. We do things now from the heart, our born-again heart, because we want to. Verse 30 and 31. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, yet my life is preserved." The sun rose up upon him as he passed Peniel, limping because of his thigh. So we live to fight another day, albeit with a limp, and the sun comes up, and we go on, and usually what happens, what we're so anxious about, is not the worst that could have happened. But now we experience with more clarity and humility and openness and connection to our authentic self. We can rest and be at peace because we wrestled with it. We didn't just go along with it blindly. We take ownership, and the victim in us subs out to the Creator, as David Emerald would say. And we are born again, like the phoenix, we're born anew. Another dear friend explained to me recently that one of the reasons we experience guilt and anxiety is a gift. It reminds us that we are caring, loving, independent people and not only narcissistic sociopaths. If we didn't feel any guilt, trust me, I don't think that'd be a good thing. Experienced guilt does not mean we have to do anything about our guilt. Again, a mirror instead of a club, a reminder of who we want to be and what we want to do, kind of like wrestling with an angel, kind of like when I was being a downer last night with my friends, I felt that guilt, and I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. And I changed. I'm changing. It's not there yet. I'm still wrestling. Be honest and wrestle with who we are. Acknowledge it and be willing at least to change, to try and change. Is that what we'll do? Or will we try and find a quick way out? Acquiesce, make amends, a quick apology, and move on? Will we reclaim our birthright, who we really are, in a wholesome way while doing the hard work ourselves instead of stealing it from someone else in a religious sort of way, wanting someone else to do the work for us and tell us what to do and why, act with trickery or perjury or laziness like Jacob had done so many times, fake it till we make it. It was no wonder he was afraid of what might happen. He had been a real skunk more than once, this Jacob character. And he knew that he had made some trouble for himself. No wonder he was anxiety-ridden and afraid. But then he faced his shadow side and he wrestled with it until he was born again and he was able to enter the realm of heaven, the place of inner peace and connection with God, a place of heavenly surrender and possibility. There was no resolution in Jacob's deep, dark night of the soul. Nothing changed when he wrestled with God other than that he felt connected to God and blessed by God and empowered to be his authentic self. And he returned to his work, I was going to say with a bounce, but more with a limp in his step, reminding of him of where he had been, perhaps to help him, remind him not to go back there. And now he had a thankful heart. He was centered and focused in what he wanted to do because he had wrestled with God and he knew he was who he was and he owned his newfound identity. His external circumstances did not change. His heart changed and he was born anew. He was a new person. Albert Camus, if you know Albert Camus or of him, then you know a little bit about me, I guess, because I'm a fan, but that's being vulnerable. Albert Camus cites a quote, "Prayer is when night descends over thought." He also says, "I have a liking for lost causes. They require an uncontaminated soul, equal to its defeat as it is its temporary victories." My wish for all of us is that we could live our lives to the fullest. For some of us, that will mean, like Jacob, to wrestle with God, to let that dark night of the soul mix with our deepest thoughts and search for meaning. And as we do this, may we reach out and wrestle with angels, with God, like Jacob did. May we be born again as we let our, as we let our defensive parts take a break and we welcome and exercise the honest, authentic Creator in us. Our angels may be trusted friends, our family, our partners, counselors, therapists, Or they might be people we have conflicts with, or situations or circumstances that seem untenable. They may be nameless or not let us know their names, but as Jacob, if we are tenacious and measured, we can prevail and move on to more meaningful lives. Heidegger says anxiety is the source of everything, and I don't agree with that, but he has a point. I agree with Kierkegaard, though, when he said, as I mentioned before, that anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Normally, if we have anxiety, something to be thankful for, because that means we actually have freedom. And it's, what are we going to choose? So, something to think about. As I said, as it was with Jacob, the anxiety will allow us to be born again if we prevail to freedom, and we'll be blessed and enter the realm of God, or as some say, to be free in Christ. So this morning, if you're in the middle of doing some emotional God wrestling, if you're wondering if you should, know that you're in good company if you choose to continue wrestling or to give it a try. Be prepared to walk away when it's time for the sun to come up, because the answers right now may not be the most important thing. Maybe being open to understanding to why we are who we are and continuing to search and to wrestle is. Are we open for that? As we open to the full human experience, we will be blessed. If we are, I am confident, sorry, I just lost my place. We'll be blessed as Jacob was. Also, we don't have to do it alone. And here is a brief commercial from our sponsors. Remember, this is part of what a church community is for, to help us be all that we can be. We can be each other's angels, each other's wrestling partners. So lean on each other when you need a friend. This wrestling has been going on for thousands of years. They used to call it wrestling with God, wrestling with angels. Now sometimes we call it therapy, or getting into it, or working it out, finding our authentic selves. So maybe, just maybe, it's about the journey and not just the destination. Let's sing our next hymn. Pardon me? Excuse me. I need hearing aids. Yeah, so I found this psalm actually was one of the readings in the lectionary, and I thought that it fit really, really well with our Genesis text. So basically, it's David coming to the same point as Jacob did, and I think that we see these themes like throughout the Hebrew and Christian scriptures. So join with us as we read and be a part of David's psalm. Hear my just cause, attend to my cry, O God.
Listen to my prayer, and those that do not lie.
Let judgment in my favor come forth from your presence.
And let your eyes discern what is right.
If you examine my heart, if you visit me by night,
If you test me, you will find no wickedness in me.
as for what others do according to the command of your lips, I have kept from traveling with the violent.
My steps have been firm in your paths, and my feet have not stumbled.
I call upon you, God, for you will answer me.
Incline your ear to me, and hear my words.
Show me the wonders of your steadfast love.
For by your right hand you save from your enemies those who take refuge in you.
Guard me as the apple of your eye.
Hide me under the shadow of your wings.
from the wicked who assail me. As for me, I shall see your face, because my plea is just. So now I think before our song of benediction, I would just like again to take a minute to have a time of sharing. I've watched some of your services online and been here, and I think that's a marvelous part of your community. So please, if you have anything that you'd like to bring to the community, sharing of any kind, a prayer request, please do that at this time. And then we'll also just take a few minutes if any of you have a comment or a question on anything I said. Might be good to clear that up now. So please, anything that you'd like to share.
Prayers of thanksgiving for my niece and nephew-in-law, who after many years of waiting and trying, welcomed their babe about just over a month ago.
Beautiful. Pardon me? Oh, sure.
I've only done this about twice in my life. Oops, I just want to say that I have come through a time of difficulty, I guess, because of my own wanting things that I think I should have that other people have, etc., etc., etc. But I want to say thanks to friends and family who have helped me move along through life and who have helped me make a physical move in the last 3 days. And I've had 2 sleeps in a new place. And I feel kind of half born again. I wouldn't have used that term, Daryl, but thanks for all the people that helped me. You know who you are. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, well, if that's, anybody else want to say anything or mention anything? If not, then let's stand to sing our benediction. It'll be 670 in Voices United, or I think it'll be up there.